I've thought of 6 reasons why we might find ourselves stuck in our lives, especially as we go through the spiritual awakening journey. We're human, right? And we're trying to bring this divine aspect into the human form. And as we do that, we can sometimes find ourselves getting a little bit lazy on the physical level. So we stop acting physically and just turn into this perfect hub of ultimate bliss and craziness, and it doesn't work. It does from one standpoint, because we're then bringing that, we're being that divine energy in every moment, right? But we're also human. There's a physical aspect. It's a 50-50 split, right? We're living here on earth in this physical existence. Here's my physical body, and the language of physical existence is physical actions. Yes, the language of the divine might be, meditation and law of attraction and all of these amazing things, but to make these things come about, we have to physically act. I found 6 reasons in my life why I was finding myself totally and utterly stuck. No passion, totally exhausted, motivation gone, napping all the way through the day, watching TV constantly because my life was just so dull and we get like this a little bit as we go through the spiritual awakening, and that's fine. There's no judgment in it. What the hell was that? That's fine. There's no judgment in that, because we're on our journey, we're learning. This is a stage of the awakening, but it's a stage that we need to grow up out of. And here are 6 reasons why you're in it, 6 things why you're stuck in your life. And this will help you, hopefully, get out of it if you're open to listening. And if you are, then by all means, stick around. I can feel a good energy inside today, and I'm passionate and feeling great about sharing this. These are 6 perhaps cutthroat reasons why you're totally stuck in your life and it feels desolate and there's nothing going on, and it's a bit, I know this from my life, it's just crap. Your life just grinds to a halt and you're like, I give up, I surrender, take me away. And that's fine. We usually get that way by being ultra spiritual people and forgetting, neglecting the physical aspect. Look, let me level with you. None of us are perfect. We're all super flawed, right? But these are 6 things that I found that were really holding me back. And it comes down to this one thing. It's the one bit of the awakening that nobody seems to get. I don't say that patronisingly, because I didn't get it. And we work with it, and we don't get it sometimes, because this spiritual journey is all about, spirit working through this body, and that's true, but we're still in this body, right? Yes, spirit is here too, but we're still in this physical body, and we need to create physical actions with this body so that we can change spiritually. It all comes down to this principle. It is the principle of personal responsibility. There are many dimensions to this, but the first reason why you're totally stuck in your life and your life's just grinding to a halt, no passion, no love, no bliss, no nothing, is because you're responding negatively. Now when I say personal responsibility, what do I mean? I mean your ability to respond to situations positively. And if you're stuck, you're not doing that. You'll find, and I know this in my life, perhaps, let's think, maybe some anger comes up or something, or this depression comes up. Our response to that, we can take the personal, we can take our ability to respond to that and get angry at the anger. Why am I like this? Or get angry at the depression, like, oh, why am I dealing with this again? I thought I dealt with that. That's a negative response, and it proliferates the negativity and holds you in this glass ceiling circumstance where you can't grow. So we can change that by accepting personal responsibility, accepting our responsibility to respond, our ability to respond to these things like depression, like anger inside for no apparent reason, like neediness, like feeling out of control. Positively, all right, that's there. Thank it. Thank you for being here. We can respond positively. Thank you for highlighting to me where I need to grow. We don't need to get angry at the anger, because if we do, it's a negative response. We just need to change our response to a more positive one, because in the moment that we do that, this nice feeling comes. Maybe it won't at the start, but as you get better and better and better at it, it will. And then that nice feeling fuels this nice feeling inside, this constant feeling of bliss, this charged up battery feeling. And this is what changes our lives. Number 2, the reason why you're totally stuck in life right now is because, and I only know this from my life, this one might hurt, is because we're blaming external circumstances, or blaming the circumstances of our lives for why we feel this way. And I get it. Like, we don't have to accept total responsibility for why we're here. We don't know why we're here in this moment in life, right? But we do have to accept responsibility if we want to grow for this moment right now. Because if we blame, where's our power gone? What if we blame the Kundalini for the reasons why my life is like this? I get it, valid point, but us blaming it gives all of our power away and all of our energy away to that blame feeling. Whereas we can accept total responsibility, cut the blame and say, right, well, I am here in this moment of my life. Look, I don't know why I'm here, obviously for a reason, but I've been blessed with this experience, perhaps if it's Kundalini that we're blaming, or if we're blaming our parents for the way that we are, or whatever it is, blaming our conditioning for the way that we feel, we lose all of our power in that blame. A hell of a lot of energy, and it's exhausting, especially if you're a sensitive person. So, how do we bring our power back? We stop that victim mentality and we just accept and really be like, yeah, this is me right now, even though it sucks, even if it does suck for you, just accept it. Accept. And then you've got all of your power back. And then in the next moment, you can choose to do whatever it is you like with it without blame. But watch, if you truly do this, watch how much energy that brings if you truly accept responsibility for exactly where you are in life right now. 3, you're stuck in life because you're hanging around with shitty people. I know this from my journey. Sometimes we meet people on our journey that are happy to A, abuse you, B, play out really negative things with you. And yes, sometimes you just have to be strong and be happy to be alone for a moment, because that's the only way we drop this negativity out of our lives. We say to the universe, in dropping these friends, if we need to do that, if we're playing out negative things with them, perhaps we could have a drinking buddy, or something else, or perhaps we're playing out this really negative, controlling situation with each other, and it's toxic. And by saying to the universe, I don't need this in my life anymore, this isn't working out for me, and cutting them out of our lives, we say to the universe, look, bring people that are more in alignment with me. Now, if you are still attracting these people into your lives after you cut them out, then we may have to have a look at what it is that we're doing inside of ourselves to do that and change it. And that's about accepting personal responsibility, isn't it? Responding to this perhaps controlling one inside, or perhaps this angry one inside, or whatever it is inside of you, with a positive response. And healing it. Another reason why you're totally and utterly stuck in your life right now is because you haven't picked your sacrifice. Look, in this life, if we sit around and do nothing and spend our time watching TV, you just watch. You will not be happy. You will be depressed until you start finding something to act upon, finding a passion that you're passionate about and acting upon it. Life is kind, right? You do have to pick a sacrifice though. Life is kind. You have to pick something, but life will let you pick however you want to. Life will let you pick your sacrifice. For example, mine is, it's not even a sacrifice now, because once you do it, you start loving it. But like, you have to pick a sacrifice. Mine is this, making these videos for free, don't charge anyone for them. It's my sacrifice to do that. And in sacrificing, you get so much back. Firstly, this feels great to help people. It just feels nice. Don't think this is about you. This is all about me being selfish. And this feeling I get when you guys write comments and say, this is really helping, or whatever it is. This, but we have to pick our sacrifice so that we feel that joy inside. And if we're not picking our sacrifice and we sit on the sofa and we watch Netflix, and yes, it's fine for a moment, but after a while you'll notice come 4 o'clock in the day, that little gremlin inside of like negativity's there. The pressure builds, doesn't it, if we're not acting on our passion, and by 4 o'clock then something comes in and we're like, I need to go and have a drink, or whatever it is, I need to go and eat shed loads of McDonald's, that that gremlin comes in, and it's coming in because you haven't picked your sacrifice, you haven't taken responsibility for your slice of life in this moment. And I only know this from my life. This isn't a lecture, this is just like things I'm learning. Because as soon as I did accept responsibility for my life, how quickly life will change, and how quickly life changed for me. 5. You're judging yourself for who you are. Plain and simple. I know this from my journey, and I still do it from time to time. Don't get me wrong, you're never going to be perfect. It's this negative ego that's judging ourselves for who we are, or judging ourselves for who we're becoming. Oh, what if I become this person and I lose all my friends, or I never have sex again, or I become this weirdo that's a total loner in life. Bear in mind, these are just judgments and projections of what you're experiencing now into the future, and it won't be like that. But it will be like that if you don't accept personal responsibility for who you are. Maybe a Kundalini awakening's happening through you, or maybe something's happening through you, and we're like, oh God, my life's changing, like on a total shift, a 180 shift, and I don't know if I like who I'm becoming. Whilst you're becoming a nicer person, a better person, or at least trying to. It's silly, isn't it? But yes, I understand the judgment, because the judgment was there in me. It's like, oh well, why do I have to be this way? But that's blame, isn't it? It's blaming life for the reason why we are the way that we are. And I get it, totally get it. But we are the way we are, so we might as well accept it. That's accepting personal responsibility, because then the control's back in our hands and we can do something good with the way that we are. For example, for me, with these videos. Even if the rest of the world judges you as weird, and likely they might, But we're strong enough because we're accepting personal responsibility for the life that we've been given. And we're using the life that we've been given to bring joy, bring happiness, to help others because of how good it feels to us. 6. And this is the final one. And this is so important. And some of us aren't ready to do it yet, and that's fair enough. But you aren't putting yourself out there. Now there's a reason why you're not putting yourself out there. Maybe it's in dating, maybe it's in business-wise. And there's a reason. There's this one inside that's been hurt before. Really brutally hurt, and it's usually that leads us to the spiritual awakening. It leads us to this journey, leads us to a Kundalini awakening, because something inside of you, this little innocent child, has been hurt. And hurt bad. Now, that pain is hemorrhaging your energy. Yes, sometimes it feels like it's not a choice. However, if we accept full responsibility for that one inside that's been hurt, and we give it love ourselves, and also notice that this one inside that's making us close our heart, this one that's hurt inside is also projecting that hurt to the future. It's expecting to get hurt by others. But you don't know that as your experience, because you're not actually putting yourself out there. Trust me, my word. As soon as I started putting myself out there with YouTube, within 9 months I have a fully fledged business. Life will take care of you, but you have to pick your sacrifice, right? So let's say you're not ready for the dating scene yet. Well, then pick your sacrifice business-wise. Sometimes you're not ready, and that's fine. Maybe if you're not ready, your sacrifice is sadhana. Pick your sacrifice as sadhana. Do the daily spiritual practice that will get you ready. Because a year ago, that was my sacrifice. The sadhana, that's what I had to do. I wasn't ready to share. I knew it in me. I wasn't ready yet. So my sacrifice was the sadhana, the spiritual practice. And if you wish, down below, it's a free breathing practice. It won't take you all the way, but it will begin to show you a deeper sense of bliss, a nice oxygenated feeling in your body. We call it cosmic double breathing. It's bloody powerful if you give it a go. I have people messaging me pretty much every day saying how powerful this is for a free practice. I mean, it's free. You have to sign up, but it's free, and that's down below. And of course, if you wish to, there's an awakening group down below for people that are going through an awakening experience and they have nobody to speak to, and that's fine, especially if point number, 5? 3, you're hanging around with shitty people. Drop them. Join us in our community, because there'll be people there that are going through the spiritual experience too that can help you. Put yourself out there if you can. This is number 6. In any way, shape or form that you can, because this is the most key one. This is where life has just dried up. We've given up, haven't we? And this is why our life's just gone poof against the wall. The human aspect of it. Spiritually, you might be feeling great, but the human aspect's just gone boom, and you're nudging your head against the wall like that because we've ground to a halt. And that's because you're not putting yourself out there. Put yourself out there. Trust it, because as soon as you do, watch how much you get back. I put myself out there with the one-to-one coaching, and then people literally, this is no word of a lie, how many of those applications get filled out? How many calls I do a week with them? I'm not saying this to brag, I'm saying this is possible for anyone. I only have, 1,500 subscribers. That's not a huge amount, I'm very grateful. It's not a huge amount in this world, It's not a huge amount, yet I'm full-time on my purpose. Living out my sacrifice because I accepted personal responsibility for this section of my life. Yes, I have other areas which I need to accept personal responsibility for, but just pick one area which you can and watch how much life will give you back. It's time to trust yourself if you can. And if you're not ready to do that, you're not ready to do that, but watch your life just go and watch you get depressed and have no energy, because it's so draining to not trust yourself. It's so draining to not be who you really are, even if who you really are is somebody that you totally judge at this moment. But that's not accepting personal responsibility, is it? That's blaming life for the way that you are and saying, I don't want to be that way. Tough luck. You're that way. So own it. Live it. Be it. Love it if you can. I get it. It's a steady process. And put yourself out there. I hope this video helps. Of course, if you wish to sign up for one-to-one coaching calls, you're more than welcome to. The application form's down below. We can do a free 30-minute assessment, totally free, no obligation. But you have to fill in an application form. And that'll do. There's 6 things, 6 reasons you're totally stuck in your life, why your life is nosediving. And I only know them from my life. Take back your control. Surrender to the control that you really do have and accept personal responsibility for your life. Something that's rarely taught on the spiritual journey. Yeah. There we go. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you on the next video.